Well, with baseball season practically upon us, there's a lot of women out there who are about to become sluggers' wives, either professionally or as amateurs. And Rebecca de Mornay, in The Sluggers Wife, you are a spokesperson for an awful lot of women who are the wives of professional men who are also professional people in their own right. And you've got a pretty tough row to hoe in this picture, and I know you have some tough feelings of your own about women who need to maintain a sense of career and identity in the face of a husband who has his own.
That's right.
Could you expound upon this a little bit? I think it will be an
word,
inspiration.
expound?
I know, it sounds like a pound cake or something. This will be an inspiration maybe to a lot of ladies out there who are in a similar dilemma.
Yeah, well, I think traditionally, there's something, that happens once you get married. You become a Mrs. John Smith. There's something within our society that, forces you to almost take on your husband's name, take on his identity, and drop your own. And, I personally happen to think that's just a load of baloney, and there's a new age coming where more and more women are working and still getting married, and so having to juggle both now, not give up their own identity and yet still get married, and the man is still thinking traditionally, and that's what this movie deals with. I mean, he is a baseball player. He, has a very old-fashioned kind of sense of like, once I get my woman, she's with me, and all the way and all of that. My character is an aspiring singer. She has a lot of time that she has to devote to building her own career, and yet she does fall very much in love with him, does marry him, and cannot believe that when she's married to him that he really does not see why she should have a life of her own.
And at this point, according to a lot of movies that we have seen, we might expect her to begin to compromise, but without giving away too much. She doesn't.
Well, that's the point, and that's what I think is special about this part and about this movie, that it's a good thing for women to see that once in that dilemma, even when you really love someone, that if someone forces you in the position of choosing for yourself or for losing your identity within the relationship, you should choose for yourself. I mean, I think that's very important.
So obviously this is something you take personally as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it is love. I think if you love someone, you want their best, and if that best includes, pursuing a goal of their own, you should go for it all the way. And if you don't, I don't think you love them.
Now, really, without wishing to pry, at least maybe a little bit, there's a special man in your life and career.
That's right.
Now, so you're able to sort of practice what you're preaching here a little bit?
Absolutely. I think, one of the reasons our relationship works is that we both give each other the freedom to pursue our individual careers. Neither one of us is saying, hey, I'm lonely and I want you with me all the time, or you have to give the other person room to grow as an individual.
You worked with this man in Risky Business, and I'm thinking there may be folks out there right now who are going, yes, Risky Business with Tom Cruise. Did the two of you first meet on the set there?
That's right. Met at a screen test for the film.
So what is blossoming in the film, the romance blossoming in the film? Is it safe to say that there's a parallel there in real life?
I'm sorry, the romance blossoming in which film?
In Risky Business.
Well, there wasn't really...
Of course, it's an odd romance.
There wasn't really romance blossoming in that film. There was, I think, Tom's character had sort of developed this sort of crush on this kind of hardened call girl who only became slightly softened by his innocence towards the end of the film.
Is it maybe a little bit frightening to know that your first time out of the gate has already become a cult film? And certainly one of the best films of 1983. Is it going to be a little tough to crawl out from under that, and will this picture maybe do it for you? Or do you want to necessarily?
I don't feel I have to crawl
Exactly.
out under from anything.
Yeah.
I think that, we did what we did. I'm glad people liked the movie. I think, I like the movie too. I don't feel any pressure to, that I have to make another Risky Business. That was that. That was a role, and that it was successful is gravy.
In fact, something new is going on in Sluggers Wife, and we have to get into this. You are not being voice dubbed when you sing. That is your voice.
That's right.
What about that? Have you had a background as a singer?
No, I kind of thought about being a singer. I learned how to play the guitar when I was much younger, and wrote some songs and sang in a few little clubs and stuff. Nothing professional. Once I got this role, though, I threw myself into preparing. I worked out very hard with a vocal coach. I watched top 40 singers, how they perform, because that's a very different kind of performer than a rock and roll star who goes out and already has a following.
But at the same time, you do have a face that the camera likes, and that's such an intangible thing. Nobody has ever been able to define what that is. You either have it or you don't.
Well, thank you.
I suppose that, I don't mean to embarrass you with that, but it's true. And I want to shake the hand of the lady who is the Slugger's wife, and you know what?
Thank you.
That is a firm handshake. That's what I've heard. This lady is all business. She is tough, and she means what she says, okay? The Slugger's wife, and she is the lady of that title with a career of her own. And from Atlanta for KCTV5, this is John Tibbetts.